Hi, everybody. We're live on the Crucian Coffee Chat, and this week I have my good friend Tina Henle, and I'm so excited that we're together in person. I've been doing this remotely with people for so long, and Tina does not have very great Wi-Fi at her gallery right now, which is a wonderful opportunity for me to interview her in person. I feel like Oprah today. I get to do this for real. Tina's been here for a month, and we've been around each other, so she's a part of my COVID circle now. So we're maskless, and we're cool with it. Thanks, everybody, for understanding. Tina, I'm so excited that you're here today.
Thanks, Joy. I'm really happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. So Tina wants to talk to us about the Henle Gallery, which is really a pillar in the St. Croix community. And her family is a long steeped family of artisans. And I've only lived here 14 years, but I even have a photograph from her father, a Fritz Henle picture. And when my mother-in-law gave it to me, I remember her saying, "Girl, you need to get that off the floor and on the wall, because that is a serious picture." And I was like, I better do a little research on this family. And over time, I have come to find that this is a very prolific and famous family, and something you should be so proud of. Let's first start off by talking about your dad a little bit, sort of the legacy behind.
Sure, absolutely. So my dad, his name was Fritz Henle, excuse me, and he came to St. Croix in 1947 for his first visit. And he was originally from Germany and left pre-war Germany in 1936 and came to America and became one of the preeminent photographers, photojournalists of the time. And he had pictures, stories, covers, you know, on all the big picture magazines, from Life to Harper's to Mademoiselle to you name it, all the big picture magazines. So that being said, in the 1940s, fashion photography was taking a shift from out of studio, photographing models out of studio, into natural settings. So photographers were taking their models to very exotic places. And my dad at that time was one of them and was hired by Holiday magazine to do a shoot. And a little more of the backstory is he was actually en route to Venezuela to do the shoot.
Right.
And it was the day of the DC-3. You couldn't do it in one shot from New York to St. Croix. And as they were refueling in Miami, they found out there was a coup in Venezuela, so they couldn't go. So they looked on the map and they said, well, let's try the US Virgin Islands. That should be safe. So that's how my dad got here. And he fell in love with it and had some absolutely gorgeous images of his models in all the settings, the historic settings, the waterfront. And
I'm going to throw a couple pictures up here for you guys. Check this out. This is some of his early work in St. Croix. Notice the sugar mill in the background and the gorgeous fashion model. And then here comes another one with the sailboat in the background, quintessential Caribbean. Here's a picture of Fritz that I wanted to pop up earlier and didn't get a chance to with his famous camera.
Yeah, and that one was taken probably in the 70s. And when he arrived here, I think he was like, I don't know, 38 or something. So anyway, it's a little bit later, but essentially my dad lived with a camera around his neck, continuously photographing everything all the time. And that was in front of the Whim Plantation Mill.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And then how did he come to stay? How did the family come about?
So he came to stay. He made several trips with different models at different times. And during one of his trips, he serendipitously met my mom at Sprat Hole Beach. And long story short, they fell in love. She was absolutely gorgeous. She became his model, his muse. And eventually, and not so long after that, our mother. So she and my dad met, and we came along, and we were raised here.
Here's an older family photo. I love this one.
Oh my God.
And Tina has a great joke about this. Look closely at this photo, gang, because you're not going to see very many family photos. I'm going to put that back up.
Okay, so that photo was actually taken in 1992. fast forward from when we were being raised here. And that was Christmas, and it was actually a month before my dad passed. And the real chuckle about it is the only family portrait ever taken of our family.
How does that happen in a family of artists? Isn't that so funny?
My father always had the camera around his neck.
Yes.
We are
not the camera on him.
No. So we are majorly photographed in a zillion different ways, but not with him.
Isn't that funny how that happens? I find as a mother, the same thing happens to me. I have a million pictures of Carlo and Akile, and I'm in like 0 of them.
Yeah, it goes that way.
So let's talk a little bit about the opening of the gallery, which actually happened with your sister, Maria.
Mm-hmm. So in 1993, actually, it coincided with my dad's passing. Mm-hmm. My sister had been living in New York for a decade, and she became an artist probably from age 6, and absolutely grew into that and made that her livelihood, and became very, very prolific. And after high school, she studied etching, printmaking in Florence, Italy. Then she went to New York for a decade to study and print further, and eventually didn't want to do that anymore, wanted to come back to St. Croix. And anybody who has lived here for any amount of time, especially if you were raised here, know how that is always in your blood.
You always
to
want
come
to
back.
home. Yeah. Carlo tells me that all the time.
Yeah.
He was gone for 13 years and still came back home with his brother. And
That being said, St. Croix is a majorly unique place. Very beautiful. So she came back in 1993 and opened the gallery. Mm-hmm. And she devoted the rest of her career and life to oil painting. So she became extremely prolific with these monumental landscape paintings.
Yeah, let's throw a couple up here and we can talk about them. This one, Tina, you want to do this one first?
Sure.
Okay.
So that is an example of her style, actually quite simplified, but people often call it a frame within a frame, but that's essentially not what it is. It's actually, her term was multiple image layering, and it was a means to give greater depth to the image by layering one image into another. So you could have a deeper sense of the wave on the shore or the sky. And anybody who sees any of her paintings immediately knows it's Maria Henle when they see that.
Absolutely. Let's show a couple more of them.
So, there she is in her studio, and that's probably in the late 80s. No, I'm sorry, in the late 90s. And she's standing right in front of an image she did from a trip to Bolivia in the Altiplano. And I think what I'll add right now at this moment is my father was a traveler. His career was all about traveling the world. Mm-hmm. And we also got that in our blood, big time.
So lucky, so lucky.
And we traveled starting by the time I was 12 with them. And, we just had it ingrained in us that travel was a vital part of knowing the world, understanding people, keeping an open mind, and delighting in all of the various cultures and landscapes. And
I have to put this picture of you up. It's my favorite one.
Okay, so that's a selfie in the days of selfie, not so long ago, a couple of years ago, on one of my several trips to India. And that's actually taken on the festival of the Holi, very, very big spring festival in India. So I love that one. I feel like I'm surrounded by joy, love, community, everything
you are
good in India.
And that's what travel is all about. It opens your mind. And I know we're not all able to travel right now the way that we would like. But you can still travel online and digitally and through books. And, there's a huge wide world out there. And it's great to keep an open mind. And so wonderful that your parents raised you to be able to travel and have that mind. That's great. We have like 18 people watching us, Tina, and 40 likes. And we have a comment right here that I want to show you. Says Tina, you look exactly like your mom.
I know. Thank you, Annalise.
There was another picture of Maria we wanted to show of her in the later years actually painting.
Yeah, so this was taken probably I photographed her doing that in 2005 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And in her studio, and you can see other images in the background. And actually it was kind of a rare occurrence to witness Maria painting. She was not very open to people coming into the studio.
Mm-hmm.
It was such an intensive process for her. But she did need a brochure photo, so she let me in that day.
Nice. And then I don't want to forget this. Yeah. This is an early painting of Maria's.
Yeah, so that was in Maria's very, very early days,
mm-hmm.
and probably in 1974, I believe. So she was still in high school. She was in probably 10th grade,
mm-hmm.
and totally into being creative. I remember our house was just, easels and paint and tissue paper and everything on the wall, just always creating. And
that's so amazing.
Yeah, we grew up with no TV. I'm just going to add that.
In this day and age with the iPad, I tell you.
And that's another little backstory, but I think it's a really important one because,
mm-hmm.
First of all, there was not really great TV in those days.
Yeah.
And it lasted maybe from 4 to 10 at night. And we had 2 stations, 2 from Puerto Rico, 2 from on island.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a TV that lasted about 6 months. And it caused havoc. We no longer had our beautiful storytelling dinner time family hour.
Right.
Because we were fighting to see Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, or I Spy, I don't know, one of them. And my mother got rid of it. And
mm-hmm.
it was really traumatic for a day or two. But it was her and my dad just really wanting to support us in being creative mm-hmm. and reading and not getting in front of the boob tube, they called it.
Yeah, the boob tube. My mom called it that too. I want to talk a little bit more about the gallery. So Maria opened it, how many years ago now?
In 1993.
Okay.
She opened it as her painting studio.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not just a studio, it was a gallery.
Yeah.
So that beautiful open space was for her to show not only her work, but my father's
mm-hmm.
and many, many, many artists. So the Maria Henle Studio, it was called at the time, became a place to showcase so many on-island artists as well as off-island.
Right.
And always with the mind of keeping really new work flowing
mm-hmm.
and bringing in very, very different work, to share with the community.
Which is huge, especially when you live on an island, to bring artists in from other places in the States or worldwide. That's a really big deal on a small island.
Yeah.
And we have such a beautiful artist community. Speaking of that, I want to bridge just to Art Thursday mm-hmm. for a second, because Maria also started that amazing event.
Yeah. So in 1997, a lot of galleries were mm-hmm. flourishing in Crucian and all over the island. But there was a need to really bring focus to the galleries,
mm-hmm.
and namely because galleries are self-supporting.
Right.
And needed to pay some bills.
Yes.
And so
people who love my jewelry, thank you.
Yes. Support the arts.
Yeah, support the arts. And that's what this event, the Art Thursday event, is all about. And it's still going on. Keep talking about that.
So anyway, the decision my sister made was like, let's do a gallery walk. So she created Art Thursday along with other artists, and it became a fabulous monthly event for much of the year, minus the slow season, right? Summer into the fall. And a fabulous social event,
mm-hmm.
time to mingle and share stories and just keep an open space.
Absolutely. And actually, when I opened the store 8 years ago, I opened on the first Art Thursday of the season mm-hmm. because it's such an event. I wanted that to be my grand mm-hmm. opening. It's so much fun. I'm going to show you a picture from the store on an Art Thursday
mm-hmm.
night. I know we don't get to canoodle and snuggle this close anymore, or maybe we can now with a mask. And we wanted an opportunity to talk about Art Thursday because as a community of galleries, there are about 18 of us. This is the Art Thursday brochure. It's got a great map. I never know which direction to go in this thing.
There you go.
There we go. Tons of galleries, from art at Top Hat to jewelers like Crucian Gold and Ivy Designs, and Cafe Christine, and restaurants even showcase art on these nights, and there's always snacks, and it's such an amazing event. And now things are a little different with the coronavirus. And so as a group, we've collectively decided that we're just going to take a pause for now and see how things move forward. That being said, all of the galleries pretty much are open or by appointment. Most of them have online websites. We also have an Art Thursday website that we want to show you, and everyone is doing the proper health measures and have the proper health measures in place. This is the Art Thursday website. Please take a look at it. I'm actually going to throw up the website address right there, artthursdaystcroix.com. You can actually click on all of the galleries there and find out when they're open and how they're changing things to be current with the times and what their safety measures are. It's really such an amazing event. I'm going to go back to us. Perfect. So stay tuned. As things change, we'll keep you posted about if we will have any in-person events. We're right now getting super creative and talking about live radio remotes, which we did as soon as the store shut down in March for Art Thursday, and doing some articles in the paper and some things like that.
Fantastic.
Which I think are really important.
It's really awesome.
It is.
Awesome to have this technology available in this really positive way.
And we have 30 people watching us now, and some more comments.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Oh, there's love from Maine on here.
Yeah.
Two of my favorite people, Sharon. Hello from St. Augustine. Look, there's your friends.
Yeah, hi, Missy.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit now about, so the Henle Gallery is going through a bit of a transition.
Yes, we are. And it's actually been, in process for a few years. It's been a constant evolution for us after my sister passed in 2013. So my brother, Martin, and I have managed the gallery, and it's evolved into the Henle Gallery. And it's expanded in many ways. And, we primarily show my sister's work, the beautiful prints, reproductions of many of her paintings. We have her original etchings, and we still have some originals. We have my dad's work available, an amazing collection of the historic images he took when he first came to the islands. And in some ways, I feel like we have a bit of a museum in place there, and that's why it's been so hard to even think about letting go. It's been just a fabulous connection, right, to my history, to the island's history, to telling stories. It's been exceedingly meaningful in my life. And we have other artists as well in there. We've had many, many guest artists and still have some of their work. So that being said, I'm just all about simplifying my life a little bit more right now.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? And we've decided to downsize. And what that actually means is we are transitioning out of the Henle studio as it exists right now.
Right.
And there is another artist to be announced soon who is as committed, as long-standing here, but of the next generation here, which feels so exciting. It's about passing the baton in many ways. And to top it off, she adored my father, and she and I are fabulous friends and colleagues, and she will still carry our work. So that's a fabulous punchline on this. So we are not severing our presence here, but I'm lightening my burden.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yes.
And all of the Henle work can still be purchased on the website.
Yes, we have a fabulous brand new website. It's henlegallery.com. And
type that in here, Tina.
Thank you. And on that site, we have a major representation, pretty much all of my sister's work that still exists, as well as some galleries of previous images and other collections that just give her a broader portfolio. And all of my existing work. And my father's. So it's really, really beautiful. And any of it, most of it is for sale.
Right.
So all you need to do is shoot me an email, inquire, and we chat and we deliver. So it's in place.
It is in place. And that's what's so great about this time. With the virus and everything going on, we can still connect virtually. Thank God for that. And everything is at our fingertips now. I mean, we used to not be able to purchase things from Europe and different places. I mean, think about with your dad back in those times, he would just bring stuff with him.
Oh my God.
Couldn't just ship it.
Yeah.
But you can ship anything now. And I'm not going to jump off here without showing your work. Most importantly, let's talk about Tina for a second. I love this picture. Check her out with her camera.
Yeah. So that's me in the heyday of my commercial weddings and portrait work here in St. Croix, and had a fabulous career. I loved it. I still do the work, but those are some images from the day.
Yeah, and then some of your most famous images. This one.
So my creative fine art work is ongoing forever. I don't have a camera around my neck like my dad, but I will honestly admit I'm always carrying my super duper iPhone. Not that that's the only thing I shoot with, but I will reveal that.
Yeah.
And that one.
This photo, I love
this is one of my signature images as well, called Running Free. This little boy and Joost van Dyke, one serendipitous moment, caught him at play.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
so,
awesome.
I'm grateful to have followed in my father's footsteps. That was hard for me to hear in my early years.
Yeah, nobody wants to know.
Nobody wants to hear that.
No.
Yeah, but now I feel like, it's what a amazing privilege I had to, have my father be this extraordinary, gifted, inspiring photographer.
Absolutely.
Artist, visionary.
Well, and then to raise a family that was the same, because you and your sister and your family have been such a light in this community and such a huge presence. And when Tina first came to the store, when she got here a month ago to say, we're transitioning in the gallery, and I was like, no, please. But she promises that she is going to help with Art Thursday and transition slowly, so that we don't have to let go so quickly.
No, and again, our work is still represented, and I'm going to still be advertising it, supporting the entire event.
Yeah.
And
I want to check on a couple more comments. Janice, yep.
And Lynn.
Hi, Tina.
And Jack. Hi,
Yeah.
Jack. So Jack Anglin is one of our guest artists that we still have wonderful paintings of his available at the gallery for any of you who remember him. And just go on my Facebook page. I have a lot of his images.
That's awesome. Really quick, I laughed. I was like, Tina, at the end, I'm going to do a shameless plug for myself. So prep yourself. Crucian Coffee Hour. First of all, we have lots of amazing guests coming up in August. I will not be doing the Crucian Coffee Hour next week because I'm taking a little trip to St. John.
Yay.
Our vacations were canceled for the summer, obviously, so we're going to just skip from one rock to the next, which I'm excited about. And if you want to be a guest on Crucian Coffee Chat, these are for Crucians worldwide, no matter where in the world you live. Now that in the day and age of digital, we can connect from anywhere. So reach out to me privately through Facebook or through the website and let me know if you want to be on the chat. We've got some great guests lined up for August. And tomorrow, something very cool is happening. We are launching some gorgeous diamond hoop earrings. They are going to be available for a limited time only. This is just a little sneaky peek. All sorts of colored diamonds in there, from black to blue, white, pink, and champagne. I love it. Join us tomorrow at noon.
Yeah.
Ethan, my intern, will be helping me model all the hoops. And hoops are quintessential for the summer, have been part of fashion forever. And everybody needs a pair of go-to hoops.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. I want to throw one last picture up here of the Henle family.
Oh, again, this was our last hurrah. And so grateful to have it.
Let me get back here and pop that off. Tina, thank you so much for being here
Thanks
with me
for having
today.
me, Joya.
It means the world to me, and
Likewise.
I'm so blessed to have been brought up in this entrepreneur artist community with people like Tina to help guide me and lead the way. It is a true blessing.
Thanks, Joya.
Thank you, everybody. More to come.
All good things.
Yes. Visit us on our websites. Stay tuned for the launch tomorrow at noon. Set your alarms. We're making them for a limited time only, so grab them while you can. And we love everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.